Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers take long overdue step toward improvement in latest NFL mock draft. When the going got tough, the Pittsburgh Steelers fell apart. More than halfway through the season, some regarded Mike Tomlin's team as a top 5 squad in football. But that was before they faced the toughest competition on the 2024 schedule. Eventually, the Steelers would lose 5 straight games to close out the year, including the playoff loss to the Ravens. Both sides of the football were to blame, but an inexcusably poor offense didn't come close to getting the job done. In addition to getting pulverized in time of possession down the stretch, the Steelers managed to put up just 14 points per game over their final 5 contests. Pittsburgh's last 6 games to close out the year were accompanied by just 164 passing yards per game. We knew wide receiver was going to be the Achilles heel of this team in 2024, and that proved to be the case. It's not hard to see which positions the Pittsburgh Steelers could target early in the 2025 NFL Draft. In his latest 2-round mock draft, Dane Brugler of The Athletic, one of the most respected draft analysts in the business, had the Steelers selecting Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka with the 21st overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Egbuka doesn't have the high-end upside to be an electrifying wide receiver in the NFL, but he's just what the doctor ordered. Egbuka is cut from the same cloth as Jackson Smith-Njigba, a fellow Ohio State product. He has a high floor, good hands, and the route-running ability to run an offense through. In the right situation, Egbuka could show shades of Amon-Ra St. Brown. For Pittsburgh, Egbuka would start from day one, and he may even be the team's top option as a rookie if the Steelers decide to send George Pickens packing this offseason. The well-rounded wideout wouldn't solve all their problems in the passing game, but it would be a start. With their second-round pick, 52 overall, Brugler has the Steelers selecting Kentucky cornerback, Maxwell Hairston. The Steelers value size and physicality at cornerback, and Hairston offers both. It helps that he's coming from SEC competition. Hairston had a phenomenal sophomore season in 2023 when he recorded 5 interceptions, 131 defensive return yards, and a pair of defensive touchdowns. Last year, Hairston played in just 7 games for the Wildcats before declaring for the NFL Draft. The Steelers have a few cornerbacks who have shown flashes and signs of promise, like Joey Porter Jr. and Corey Trice Jr. However, this team needs to improve the secondary, and Pittsburgh just witnessed a season in which Porter, Trice, and Dante Jackson each dealt with injuries. Jackson, meanwhile, is scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent, and Trice's injury history is too scary to trust him to stay on the field for 17 games. This selection would add much-needed depth and security to a secondary that struggled in 2024. Insider admits he would be stunned if Russell Wilson returns to Steelers. After 2 disappointing seasons with Kenny Pickett at quarterback, the Pittsburgh Steelers made an interesting move last offseason by picking up veteran signal caller Russell Wilson after he had been released by the Denver Broncos. Wilson had spent 2 dismal years with the Broncos and missed the playoffs in both of those seasons, and it looked like he was over the hill. He was able to guide the Steelers to an 11-6 finish this season, although they got rolled in the wild-card round of the playoffs by the Baltimore Ravens. The 36-year-old is about to become a free agent, and speculation has begun about what Pittsburgh may do with him and at the QB spot in general. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio said he doesn't expect Wilson to wear the black and yellow next season, per 93.7 The Fan. "I would be stunned, beyond stunned if Russell Wilson is back next year," he said. Wilson had spent his first 10 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks and delivered them a Super Bowl championship during the 2013 season, but by 2021, the team was in demise. He was traded to the Broncos in the spring of 2022 for 5 draft picks, Noah Fant, Drew Lock and Shelby Harris, and some thought the Broncos had just become legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Instead, the Broncos put forth one of the worst offenses in NFL history in their maiden voyage with Wilson, and it started to become clear that going after him was a mistake. This year, Wilson threw for 2,482 yards and 16 touchdowns in 11 games, but for the Steelers to take the next step, they will need someone younger and a little more dynamic. Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin expects to stay right where he is. Tomlin is shutting down any rumors or innuendo that he's available for a trade with another team. "I have no message. Save your time," Tomlin said about possible trades, per ESPN. Tomlin has famously been with the Steelers since 2007 and never had a losing season. He's also lost 6 straight playoff games, and many Steelers fans are frustrated with his performance in recent years. Speculation continued to fuel that Tomlin would leave or be traded after Pittsburgh lost their recent playoff game to the Baltimore Ravens. It appears that those speculations are simply unfounded. Tomlin is expected to return to coach the team in 2025. Davante Adams 100% would like to play for Mike Tomlin, Steelers. Davante Adams' reunion with Aaron Rodgers on the New York Jets did not go according to plan, and they are both expected to move on to what is next. For Adams, that could be a move over to the Pittsburgh Steelers and head coach Mike Tomlin. Adams discussed the idea of playing for Tomlin in an appearance on the Up and Adams show. "Oh, 100%, Adams said on whether or not he would play for Tomlin. Anytime you have a coach that's a player's coach and they've got a way with their guys, those type of coaches, whether they coach me or not, always win me over. I've had nothing but respect for him and it's been mutual. He talked to me during some games. Obviously he's a great coach, but a hell of a dude too." The Steelers made the playoffs, but were eliminated just as quick. The Baltimore Ravens picked up a 28-14 win over the Steelers in the wild card round on Saturday night. Adams had a productive 2024 campaign despite the Jets and Las Vegas Raiders, who Adams started the season with, not performing well. He caught 85 passes for 1,063 yards and 8 touchdowns. This was the 5th season in a row where Adams crossed the 1,000 yards receiving threshold. Adding Adams could make a lot of sense for the Steelers, who could use more firepower on the offensive side of the ball. Green Bay Packers safety Xavier McKinney would love to see Davante Adams return to Lambeau Field. McKinney responded to the Up and Adams show's post of Adams talking about the Packers pursuing T. Higgins. Adams was outstanding throughout his 8 seasons in Green Bay. Packers quarterback Jordan Love could be an impactful part of Adams' decision process. Adding Adams could help the Packers get back to the top of the NFC North. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Davante Adams? Leave your opinion in the comments.